stay innovative. So this fifth tattva is very important for us. So I generally do mentoring and coaching sessions for Savitribai Phule, both Institute, V School, Vijay Bhumi. And one of the students, he asked me, sir, what is this innovation? आप बोलते हो technology innovation है. So guys, it is not only technology, even a typewriter or ink was an innovation. Yeah, it reduced the number of efforts or it eased the number of efforts. So wherever you go, how far you go, basis these five tattvas, as on date, I have been successfully mentoring, coaching people, and as rightly said in the previous sessions, you should always look for yourself in the mirror first. So whenever I see this soul in the mirror, I try to evaluate myself whether I have made the difference in this community by using these five tattvas. So practice them, preach them. The future is very bright. Coming back to the industry is heavily dependent on the innovations that are going around. Thank you to COVID, we got the technology perspective for the Indian context because we also were a sector जहाँ पे technology का use कम होता था. We were more labor based, we were more manpower based. But now we have started focusing on technology, but it is a pick and choose model. Just because सामने वाले ने किया, it doesn't mean I also follow the same practice. But definitely with technology coming into place, the uh, the wait period of customers getting reduced, there is a higher scope and a better scope for a career in this construction, chemical and manufacturing industry. Please don't forget the five tattvas. Do write back, reach out. Thank you, Ketanji. You can always be a, sort of mediator between the student and me. But practice them. They are really helpful. Thank you.
Thank you. Gautam ji, I would like to take you next and can briefly tell about LTI Mindtree because LTI Mindtree has been supporting fuel, so a lot of my students also know about LTI Mindtree, but from a technology perspective. And the question for you is on how do you incorporate diversity and inclusion in your hiring process?
Okay, thanks for having me here, and it has been a wonderful audience. I've been seeing that they have glued on to whatever has happened in the first half. As far as LTI Mindtree is concerned, we are an IT services organization. Recently, we have done the merger between erstwhile LTI and erstwhile Mindtree. Now it's a $4 billion organization. Worldwide, we are present in around 35 countries, over 85,000 people, and we have around 6 verticals. And it is all technology driven in terms of technology which cuts across all the verticals are cloud, generative AI, automation, metaverse. So all these kind of technologies are there. Apart from that, of course, the coding part will all, of course, be there in this. And of course, there is the development part and there is a support part in any project. And we support clients globally, worldwide. And we have got very aggressive growth projections. And especially the merger has brought the two organizations together. And we are in good shape for the future. Now, with respect to your question on how do I bring in diversity and inclusion in hiring, DEI has always been in the forte for all organizations, and we have specific focus on DEI, and it starts with the hiring process. So the strategies for DEI, bringing in diversity and inclusion in hiring, is more with respect to include diverse hiring channels. Like you can have focused hiring campaigns like we have for women, for PWD, for LGBTQ+, and we are associated with organizations who represent the unrepresented groups in the organization as well. in terms of hiring. Okay. Now, that is one part of it. The other part of it is when you are going into that kind of a process, you need to have a hiring team, which we have. And that hiring team has to be inclusive. It has to have the diversity in the hiring in terms of having the inclusiveness. And so you have people from various demographics in the hiring process. You have people from various seniorities in the hiring process to bring in the diversity in the hiring so that that bias is negated. Third is we use a lot of tools, in most organizations might be doing that, is we have automatic tracking system tools which tracks the resumes. And when they track the resumes, they match the job skills. They mask the gender of the selected resumes against certain skills, against all skills rather, and they give it to the panel for selection. So that's where you bring in unbiased selection process in the hiring process, right? And then that is one part of the hiring. The other part is when we are writing the job descriptions, the job descriptions are also avoided gender languages, so that it is a general neutral kind of job descriptions which gets published in our job boards internally as well as externally as well. So that also brings in the aspect of DEI into the process. And fifth is we need to have a structured hiring process, in the sense that if you have structured set of interview questions, that structured interview panels, in that way you can reduce the implicit bias which may be caused in the hiring process, right? And sixth is when you are having this diverse hiring pool of people, you need to train them to make them conscious of the biases that can come in the hiring process, so that that implicit biases are removed out from the hiring process. And above all, we have our own DEI targets as an organization, and that has to be mapped to the targets of hiring in the organization, so that we map the targets which we already have and which we have focused in the days to come with the DEI hiring process, and we match it with the policies and the practices in the organization.
Okay,
Hope
thank you,
that
sir.
answers.
Thank you so much. I'll come next to Shekhar, sir. We all keep hearing about economic downturn and the hiring processes. So these young students will be coming into the market 2024, 25. So what advice would you give for them in amidst this downturn? What preparedness they should do?
So, good afternoon, and thank you, Ketan sir, and the entire team here for giving an opportunity to be here and talking to you all. The question is that what are the what do we do in terms of this context of economic downturn, and how well we can make ourselves employable. So essentially the phase what we are into, I would say that where the customer spending is very cautious. We are not seeing a client spend which is used to be earlier. There was no discretionary spend today where people are putting the money out and launching big programs which will generate big employments. So that is right now not happening. But at the end of the day today, the core programs and the industry as such is vibrant. There are a lot of opportunities, because the downturn has also got opportunities because people are trying to consolidate, and that brings new technology opportunity. For the students here, I would say that they should not judge this current context with the frame of whether it's a downturn or it's not a downturn or the economy is booming. I think by the time it reaches you and impacts you, it is, it's quite far. So what I want students to look at the context is by far, if I have an organization coming in, even if one job is there, I'm the one who's going to get it. So go with that mindset and prepare it, because you come to this organization or this academic institute from day one. You know that I'm going to face companies in my campus which could be in the third semester or the fourth semester. So the duration what you have with 1.5 years or so, what you have with you, use that in a way that you become good in terms of what your prospective employer is looking for. And from the downturn perspective, and I'll say that there are a lot of opportunities. The India domestic consumption story is very strong. We are seeing it is growing. India is growing, and our market is very vibrant. So from the hiring perspective, I would say that don't worry on that much, but focus on yourself, because at the end of the day, the organizations who come to your campus would judge you in terms of your capabilities and what exactly you bring to the table. So this duration of 1.5 year or 2 years, what you have, is something which you should use to add features to the product, because assume you are a product and you have to really add a feature very, very diligently with a lot of hard work to yourself. It could be a certification, it could be internships, it could be a volunteering project. So use all these vehicles to ensure that you add value to yourself. And when the people come in here to judge you and take you, understand that what exactly the industry they are coming from, what is their organization, what are the what are their revenue generators, what are the challenges this organization has, and try and bring that into your discussions when you get into the discussion. For projects, I would say the interviews, 90% I would say with liberty, with all on behalf of all my friends, that it is going to be only your internship projects what you are doing. How genuinely have you done it? What is the problem statement you have really addressed? How well you have done the statistics? What kind of hypotheses you have taken and proven it right or wrong? How much diligence you have put into it? So basis that, it would be seen. And two advices what I have from my end is, in whatever business you get, whatever company you go, whatever department you work, always understand from where the dollar comes and where it is going. If you understand from where my organization is getting revenue and what is the cost of my organization, and then try and add value where the difference between the earning and the cost, really we are able to stretch it and create more and more profit. You can be in administration, you can be in HR, you can be in finance, but look at it from a perspective that how do I add value? And the enterprises would be very happy to see that if you can put that diligence. And second thing is, see, a right or a wrong is always a variable of context. Please understand and read the context very well in whichever context you get into. If you start as a probationary officer, you get into a bank, you need to understand what exactly the context of my, because a context makes a right or a wrong or what your approach should be. Please understand this. I think then you will be able to adapt well, you'll be able to create value, and people will see value what you bring to the table. So I think I've addressed it. Again, to summarize, India domestic story is very strong. There's a lot of consumption, a lot of growth happening. So don't worry of the downturn. Go with an approach that, please try and identify your sector, your target employer, and work towards it. Understand the industry, work towards it. How can you be relevant to that industry? Do internships there, do projects in that, do certifications. It could be agile, it could be